Let's go.
Let's go.
Um,
Hello.
Hello. I'm Olivia,
And I'm Amy.
and this
And this
is
is
Girls
Girls
Gone
Gone
Spooky.
Spooky.
Um, Really quick tangent just to kick us off.
uh-huh.
So when Amy and I were in university and living together, we used to play, was it Wii?
Uh, Just
Was it on
Dance,
the Wii?
or what are
Or
you
was it
talking
on
on
the
We? Yeah.
on Wii?
Uh,
This is like a funny name for a console.
yeah.
But we also sometimes used to play Mario Kart. And I think everybody knows Mario Kart through like Super Mario or whatever. And you know where he goes, "It's a me, a Mario."
uh-huh.
That's apparently not what he's saying. He's saying something in Japanese and then Mario. It
Yes, I
means
had heard
super.
that.
It means super, I think. It's like
Yeah.
Super Mario.
Super Mario.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I was like, oh, but it's a me, a
It's
Mario.
me.
Sounds so good.
It works out
It
perfectly.
works really well.
Yeah, I had heard the
Anyway,
same thing. That's interesting.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a
So
me.
think on that, guys. Linguists, think on that.
Yeah.
Happy Friday the 13th.
Eee! Oh my god. I hope
No
it's a good
better
day.
way than to kick off spooky season.
I know.
You
And
guys,
the day before my birthday.
and
Just
honestly, even more
throwing it out
important,
there.
birthday eve.
Yeah.
Amy's
hmm
birthday eve.
Yeah.
I think your birthday present is going to be there on time, but it's being sent from Turkey. So,
Whoa. What?
or, okay, do we say Turkey? Is that how
Mm,
you say that?
I think so, but I do not know. That's how
Okay.
it's spelled, right?
Yeah, Turkey.
Yeah.
Anyone from that country?
Turkey.
Turkey. Um, please let us know if that's correct.
Yeah.
I'll also look at a little pronunciation key later, but it's being sent from there. So if it
Wow.
takes forever, that's
Yeah.
why.
What have you
Um,
done?
Nothing.
Oh, thank
I
you.
hope you like it. I'm actually really
I
excited.
I'm sure I will. It will not be going back to Turkey.
Good. Turkey. Good. I hope not. So so that
Okay, so
that little phrase. Okay, so and then with a tongue click, my nephew does that before he
oh,
says literally anything. And it is
oh.
so cute. With his little voice, he'll be
Yeah.
like, I'll be like, "Oh, how do you play Go Fish?" And he'll be like, "Okay, so."
Oh,
That's so cute. So now I picked
I
it up.
love that. Yeah.
Um,
Oh,
Nothing spookier than waking up at 3 a.m. drenched in sweat because you've just had a scary
yeah.
recurring dream.
Oh God.
Dun dun dun. We wanted to pick something for today because it's a very spooky day that is kind of like eerie and mysterious and not necessarily unlucky, but kind of makes you think like, is there more to this than I thought?
Yes.
So we're covering recurring dreams. But
Yeah.
are they just dreams? Nah, I don't know.
Or premonitions,
Exactly.
visitations,
Visitations,
any
um,
number of things.
oppression, which is like the step before possession in
Oh, yikes.
demon
Demonology.
demonology, in demon
Yeah,
stuff,
and demons. Demonism.
in demonism, um, just casual demon activities, you know?
Yeah. Yep.
So shall we start with my little summaries?
Yes.
Okay, so
Let's.
listen up. Get comfortable, people. Throw some salt over your left shoulder. Pet a
Mm,
black cat. Don't walk under that ladder.
yes.
Recurring
Smart.
dreams. So these are really quite common and can span over a short or long period over the course of your lifetime. I personally have had a lot of them when I was young, like up through
Mhm.
probably puberty and maybe a little bit of high school. And then I think they kind of stopped. I don't know, if I've had them, I don't remember. Common recurring dreams. And I mean, I think the title, like the name for it is like pretty self-explanatory, but it's a dream that you have multiple times.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and sometimes people have them nightly, sometimes it's weekly, monthly, annually, once every 10 years. Like it
Mhm.
really depends. Really common ones that people report are taking some sort of test at school, usually that you haven't prepared for,
Yeah.
trying to catch a flight at an airport, running through the airport, not being able to
Mm.
catch your plane, car or plane crashes, which I'm very grateful I don't have those dreams a lot because
Yeah.
those are very
Same.
scary.
Mhm.
Um, being like falling, being chased, things to do with your teeth. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. Apocalyptic dreams, those I have a ton, but they're not usually the same.
Really?
Yeah, I
Mhm.
have a lot of apocalyptic dreams. And then snakes.
Hmm.
So I wanted to really quickly, for those of you who are hopefully not suffering, but if you are suffering from recurring dreams, some tips for defeating your recurring dream and
This
getting
will
it
be
to go
good to
away.
know.
Yes.
Okay.
So assuming that your recurring dream is just that, just a recurring dream, that's just your brain processing something, it's typically your subconscious trying to, or at least psychologists think, it's your subconscious trying to work something out that your conscious mind is either struggling with or usually oppressing, like pushing
Mhm.
down some sort of fear or worry or whatever. So it's usually trying to help you listen. Like the recurring dream is appearing over and over again for because your brain, your subconscious is being like, look at this and
Yeah.
realize what I'm trying
Mhm.
to show you.
Yeah. Yep.
So brushing them off usually encourages them to get worse. So that's like really the first thing to avoid. What you want to do is kind of befriend the nightmare. So instead of like waking up and being so freaked out, I don't want to think about that, think about dream journaling, writing it down, talking to your therapist or a trusted loved one about it, and basically say, like, Sun Tzu, who's a writer and philosopher, has a quote that says, if you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. And it's kind of that thing, is like, if you know what the fear is, you can overcome it more easily.
Mhm.
The forgotten language is step 2. So not just talking about how does it make me feel, sort of trying to figure out a lot of the symbolism, that piece is sort of the forgotten language. So there are dream dictionaries, and dream psychology is, I think, fascinating. I think
Yeah.
we did another full episode about dreams in general, not specifically recurring dreams, but we talked a little bit about dream psychology and like astral projection and like all the things
Yeah.
that can happen when we're asleep. And also, like, what even is that when we're
Right.
asleep? Like, obviously, our bodies
Yeah.
have to rest, but like, what is your brain doing? Like, I
Yeah.
don't love
It's going off the rails
literally. So,
sometimes.
yes. So, like, for example, a car could be a representation of your path or your drive in life. A butterfly implies a personal transformation, obviously, because of like its metamorphosis.
Mhm.
So, looking at the dream more metaphorically, you usually can see some patterns unfold that may mimic unconscious feelings or emotions relating to something that's actually happening in your life. Um, and then tracing your steps. So being able to say, okay, this dream started around this time, this was going on then, there's something similar happening now. So it's a lot of different ways of basically like putting the pieces together to understand like what is causing this.
Mhm.
Personal reflection is step 4, which is really like putting all of these things together. And then the last one, step 5, is asking a dream professional for help. This doesn't have to be a person, it can also be one of the thousands, probably millions of resources online that
Yeah.
exist about this.
Mhm.
Um, but it's really, really interesting. There's a site called dreamdictionary.org where I got a lot of the content for this like introduction piece. And they even have like a live chat where you can talk to someone
Oh,
about
wow.
your dreams.
Interesting.
So, yes. So, a couple of other facts about recurring dreams specifically. One, they usually happen in REM sleep, which some dreams do, but not all dreams do. So, you have
Mhm.
to be in like a pretty deep
Deep.
part of your sleep.
Mhm.
2, there are unconscious mind telling us to wake up in quotes, and address the issue that the dream is trying to tell you
Mm.
about.
Mhm.
3, they deliver a very important message, usually. 4, they often come in the form of nightmares. So recurring
Yeah.
dreams like usually are not super pleasant. I came across a few that were like kind of light and nice. I didn't include them today, of course, because
Yeah.
that's not my
That's
style. But
not, yeah. That's not what we're looking for.
no, that's not what we're looking for. Um, almost everybody has one. Like almost
Yeah.
everybody in their lifetime will experience a recurring dream. They're
Mhm.
typically triggered by high stress times in your life. Some are positive and some are negative dream themes. So within the recurring dream, there are likely things that are positive. So if you're in a car crash, there may be a friend with you or someone who helps you after that's always there. Or maybe that person changes, but it's always someone you love and trust.
Mhm.
And then once you find the root of the issue, psychologists say it's highly unlikely that the dream will come back. So it really is like
Whoa.
almost proven that if you can find the root of like what is that subconscious message, you can like banish the recurring
Fix
dream.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So there really is a way to like quote unquote conquer the recurring dream or nightmare,
Yeah.
really.
Wow. I'm
Yeah.
sorry to interrupt.
No,
My
please.
computer is unplugged. I
Oh
need
no.
to plug it in. It's about
Yes,
to die.
plug it in, plug it in.
1 second, everybody.
Yes. Take your time. Mm, I'm here drinking my little protein drink. Um, okay, while Amy is doing that, I am pulling up some common dreams, which are, I'm just doing a quick overview while you're
Okay.
plugging in.
Yeah, sorry. So
Okay,
sorry
so
about that.
no, it's fine. Some of the most common dreams generally, not specific to recurring dreams, are some of these I had like never even heard of, or not heard of, but definitely never experienced myself.
Yeah.
Heights dreams, those I have all the time. I fall
Really?
almost once a week, for sure. Once a week.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
hate it. I hate the sensation of falling. I don't like dropping roller coasters as a result. Like it has
Yeah.
ruined that kind of roller coaster for me.
Interesting.
So heights
I
dreams. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say the falling ones are, do you see yourself falling? Or you just like
That's
suddenly
a good
feel like you're
question.
falling? Because
It's
I always
usually,
feel the falling, but I don't see it.
I don't see myself like third person. I'm in my
Mhm.
body and I'm falling in the
Mm.
dream. So it's
Mhm.
usually like, and it's usually something weird where like I'm flying and then suddenly I realize like, wait, I can't fly.
Yeah.
And then I
Yeah.
fall. It's
Yeah.
horrible. I
Yeah.
hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it.
Yeah. Not good.
So not good. So heights dreams, gifts from the dead. I thought that one was really
Whoa.
interesting. And to be
Yeah.
fair, I haven't really had someone other than my grandparents. I haven't had
Mhm.
someone like so close die to me.
Yeah.
So like
Mhm.
I think if a parent had passed away and I'd experienced that, that would probably be very common. But either
Yeah.
like gift in the form of a message or a physical gift. And often
Mhm.
those gifts have a ton of meaning in those
Yeah.
dreams,
I'm
which
sure.
makes you wonder, is that your subconscious telling you that? Or is that them visiting your dream,
Visiting. Yeah.
actually trying to give you a gift to help you? Um,
Right.
ear dreams, which is like kind of a weird one.
Yeah. Weird.
Um, cell phone dreams where like your cell phone's
Mhm.
not working or like you're on your cell phone, which kind of makes sense because it's like such
Yeah.
a reflection of our actual lives.
Mhm.
Flying dreams, teeth dreams. I have these a lot. Hate them.
Yeah.
Um, old friend dreams, celebrity dreams,
Oh,
flower dreams, and ring dreams,
wow.
which I thought was interesting.
That is interesting. So
So
these are common,
just
recurring, or
no,
just
just
general
dreams in
dreams?
general,
Yeah.
but they're
Mhm.
common themes in recurring dreams too.
Yeah.
They're just common for people to, they're just common themes that come up
Yeah.
for people.
Wow.
So I wanted to share just a couple of them because I think they're interesting. And one I think is very common. The other, I'm like, huh? The ear one? I was like,
Yeah.
I've never dreamt about my ears
No,
or
not
anyone's
once.
ears.
Not once.
And the other one is teeth, because I do think like I came across like hundreds of those when I
Yeah.
was doing research for this.
Mhm.
So Ears are very symbolic in our dreams because they connect the dreamer to hearing, gossip, intuition, and
Mm.
awakening. So the
Oh.
image metaphorically of like what we hear in the outside world, but also how we absorb it internally. So
Mm.
it's a powerful symbol that magnifies how you perceive things that might result in being sort of off balance in your life. So it's like what you hear, like negative voices, like external, but also internally how you process that. So it's sort of, you know, everything in terms of like how you perceive the world, how people are perceiving you and sharing that back to you, sort of a feedback loop in that way. So they're like very
Yeah.
symbolic, which I think is so interesting.
Yeah.
Some common ways they come to life in your dream is removing earwax, pulling objects out of your
Wow.
ears bleeding, or even cleaning your ears, like with a
Mm.
Q-tip or with like a squeeze bottle or something like that. And they're commonly presented in exceedingly graphic detail. So, like pulling something out of your ear and looking at it and being like, "What the fuck is that?"
That sounds
Um,
crazy.
yes,
I have
yes.
never had a dream like that.
Me neither. Me neither. So, what comes to like for a lot of dream psychologists, they say that like the thing that like when your ears are blocked in the dream and you're removing it, it's your subconscious basically telling you to un like become aware. Like imagine
Mhm.
like having your hands over your ears when you're in the middle of like a busy street. It's like look up, be aware.
Yeah.
It's that kind
Mm.
of like alert.
Yeah.
So they say that what is blocking your ears signifies uninformed behaviors, an oblivious nature, being uneducated, or
Mm.
choosing to not be educating yourself on something, ignoring the obvious, and ignorance to life, or sort of closed mindedness. So it's
Mm.
a lot of that, like trying to remove that from your life experience.
Yeah. Wow.
There is also one other thing that I'll add. There is like so much detail in all of these. So I'm obviously not going to go into all of it because I'm already been rambling about this for 10 minutes. But
No.
um ears can also reflect like which makes sense based on what I just said. They can be sort of a symbol even in our lives awake, can
Mm.
be a symbol for wisdom and compassion, which actually makes a lot of sense logically because your ears
Mhm.
and your nose are the only organs on your body that like keep growing after you're
Yeah.
fully grown, fully
Mhm.
developed adult. um so it makes sense. Like if you're old in age, your ears are going to be bigger than at least they were when you were younger. So
Right.
they can represent that too, which is interesting because it's like if you're trying to unblock them, it's like opening that channel to wisdom and compassion and
Mhm.
understanding and openness, all of those
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
So that one I thought was like so interesting. I was like, I have never even heard of this.
No, no, definitely. I would love to
No.
hear anybody's ear-related dreams
Please,
because that
please.
it makes perfect sense, like the
Totally.
imagery, but
Yes.
I've never known anyone to have those
No, no
dreams.
one's told me at least. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll have to ask Noah.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing his family on Friday, which is
Yeah.
today when the episode's being released.
Uh-huh.
But and maybe I'll pull a larger group because yeah, I'd never heard of it before.
Yeah.
Um and yeah, we should just say that actually before we like get into like the meat of this episode too, please DM us, email us at
Mhm.
girlsgonespooky@gmail.com. Any recurring dreams or just general dream stuff. We find it fascinating, obviously,
Yeah.
because this is like our second or third episode talking about it.
Yeah.
Um, it's just so mysterious because like you can't really interpret like what am I doing when I'm
Right.
dreaming? Like what even is
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
So yeah, anyway. Teeth is the other super common one. So
Yes.
there are a lot of different kinds of tooth dreams. So rotting teeth suggest a few different interpretations, usually reflecting on image, speech, or neglected responsibilities. So like how you
Mm.
present yourself to the world, inability to like say what you want to say, negative speech, like having a lot of like negative self-talk or negative things to say about others that you're saying
Mm.
often or even just in your head, um, broken, chipped, or crooked teeth, usually mean fixing something that is unconscious to you. So it relates typically to insecurities, past traumas, recent experiences of failure, rejection, loneliness, social anxiety, negative beliefs about yourself, and perfectionism. A lot of it is like all the teeth stuff, which makes sense. I feel like teeth are so connected to people's self esteem a lot of the
Mm-hmm.
time.
Yeah.
So that makes a lot of sense. How people are interpreting you or how you think other people are interpreting you, and kind of like
Yeah.
fixing, it's a call to sort of like fix some of those like self views about yourself. um, and then teeth falling out is an interesting one. Teeth falling out or even a missing tooth um, usually means, well, it's kind of a few things, but this tends to be the most commonly experienced one. And usually it means sort of being like unable to say something that you really want to say, feeling like you don't have support in something, or like probably
Mm-hmm.
fearing you say something because of the reaction that you might get from someone. Speaks to loss and also insecurity as well. So I have these all the time where my teeth are falling out and I hate it,
Yeah.
but it's a common one. Do you get them too?
I've had them in the past, but no, it's not one of my usual
Yeah,
dreams.
they're not
It's
fun.
no,
It's not
no.
it's not nice. I also think I mean, there are of course always these metaphorical ways to interpret these, and then there's also just like what's happening in your life, and I feel like I
Hmm.
always have issues with my teeth. So I'm like, damn it.
Sensitive teeth.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very sensitive teeth, and just yeah, I'm like mentally very sensitive to like dealing
everything.
with them.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, I
That
just
makes
wanted to give like a
sense.
little, not so little, a 15-minute intro to all this dream stuff because it's so fascinating to me. And there's
Yeah,
so much information, like a wealth of information online about all
yeah,
this stuff.
yeah. I think I can't remember if it was Dream World or Dream something. It was a UK website that had, maybe this was what you were looking at, but it was like for every possible thing that you see in your dream, they had like a page
Oh
about it.
yeah. It's
It was,
crazy.
yeah, so specific.
Everything. Like dream
Yeah,
dictionaries that are like an ant and then it has
right.
5 paragraphs of what
Yeah.
that could possibly
Yeah,
mean. It's like, well, are you interacting with the ant? Because in that
right.
case, it's like,
Yeah, and it usually
yeah,
makes some sense.
it makes total
Like
sense.
that, yeah. I was going to talk about my recurring dream
Yes. Oh my God,
to
please.
start because, and I think I've mentioned this before actually, but I have this
Mhm.
very often, which indicates that I have a lot of anxiety, which is no
Oh,
surprise. But
oh,
I dream about bugs all the time.
oh my
And it is
God.
never like in a dream world. It's I'm dreaming of my bedroom and it's a spider coming down from the ceiling onto my
No,
face,
no.
or or it's like a barrage of bugs crawling up from under the bed toward me, and I'll wake up like
With a start.
yeah, and I almost always jump out of bed with those dreams. So Dave is so lucky that he gets to stay the night with me every night. I'm either talking, jumping out of bed and
Saying
pointing
creepy
at
shit.
things, or
Do you see him in the
it's just
corner? Oh my
yeah.
God. We would have to be sleep divorced if we were dating, Amy.
Yeah.
I'm
Except, do
so
you remember
scared.
the one time that we were sleeping in the same bed and you were pushing me off because you were having a night terror? Do you
That's,
remember that?
I don't, but that tracks.
Yeah.
I used to be a kicker too when I was
Mm,
little. I mean, now I don't, obviously, but
yeah.
like, well, I guess that's not obvious. Some people do into adulthood, but yeah, I don't have night terrors anymore. I mean, knock on wood,
That's good.
Jesus.
Yeah. Keep them
But
out of here.
yeah, in college they were pretty bad.
Yeah.
I'm so
This
sorry. I was
it's
pushing
okay.
you out of the bed. Was it when we
It's
did the
funny.
big sleepover, like in the living room, because we were all too scared to sleep in our own rooms?
Surprisingly, no, this was actually more recent. It was when I visited you in Texas.
I'm so sorry.
So yeah, how old would we have been? Like 27? We
Yeah,
were
what?
not. Yeah, we
Oh
were
shit. Oh, I
out
guess
of
I have
college.
had them more recently. The
But
moves, I think the moving was a big source of like I think just
yeah.
stress levels being really high, hormone and
Hmm.
stress levels being really high, I think were the biggest things for
Yes.
me.
Yeah, and
Um
I visited you like a couple weeks before you were moving to
yeah.
Canada,
That's right.
and
I forgot about that.
there was a huge storm. Like
Oh my god,
it
yeah.
was yeah, set up. It was the first night I was there. My flight was so bad and bumpy and I was like
Yes.
wired.
Yes. Oh
And
my god,
then
yeah. I
yeah,
remember
so
that.
that was our first night.
Oh my god. And I picked you up at the airport and you were like kind of shaky on the drive home.
Yeah, cuz it was
Yeah.
like really people were screaming that kind of
Yes.
thing and like
Yeah.
I'm a bad flyer. We
It's
all
not
know this,
funny.
but I would never scream because that just makes it way
No,
worse.
that helps no
So,
one. That helps
yeah.
no one.
Yeah. So hearing other people and like watching them like white knuckle and be like every time,
Oh
it's just
God,
so much worse.
it's so
But
bad. There, I
yeah.
swear though, I mean, every time I've flown into Denver, when you fly over the mountains,
Yeah.
it
You're
creates
in
that
for a
like
ride.
weird like
Yeah.
vacuum situation
Hmm.
which is so scary like because when it drops so fast like I remember that, oh my god, where it like dropped so suddenly and you guys lost like thousands of feet of altitude
Yeah.
in like a moment. I was like
Yeah.
huh?
Yeah, that was a bad
Oh my
one.
god, so bad. And you see like lightning outside your window and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, I'm dying
Okay.
tonight.
Yep. This is
So
it.
glad I came to Texas.
That
Oh god.
yeah.
And then
I'm
I kicked you out of
surprised.
bed. I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay.
Oh,
I I don't even remember what I did. I think I probably just like patted you or
yeah.
something. And
Did I
that's
stop eventually?
it. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
good.
I mean, maybe I was in the middle of the bed. I don't know. I
No,
I'm an active sleeper. Could
you
have
are,
been
that's
trying
true.
to move over to you.
Okay, wait. Did you look up? Tell me you interpreted your own dream. The bugs.
Oh, yeah. It
Okay,
was
phew. I was like, are we gonna have to do this live? Because I will.
no, it's basically what's bugging you, quote unquote.
Oh, okay,
So
that's very cute.
it's anxiety and fear. Um
Mm.
and there was maybe one site that said something about like a physical uh malady element to it.
Mm.
So if you're feeling sick, you might have
Yeah.
those dreams, things like
Or
that.
like
But for
strained your
me,
back or something. Yeah.
yeah, it's always work related for me. Like if I
Yeah.
have a lot of stress about that, I'm going to
Yeah.
have a bug dream and it's just inevitable. So,
I am going to have a bug
yeah,
dream.
it's just a
Well,
fact.
there's our
Yep.
episode title.
Yep, going to have a bug dream. So, that's just a fact. And
Oh, I'm so
the
sorry.
other recurring dream I've had that only it's gone now, but it happened all the time during the pandemic
Hmm.
because that was just a stressful time for everybody. But
Hmm.
work was also really crazy for me at that time. And
Hmm.
I had this dream over and over about this little, like, it wasn't a little person, it
Oh,
was
okay.
a small person
Hmm.
with the most like devious looking scary smile
Oh, oh.
looking up from under my bed, and I had that for weeks. And
Like
I
every
got
night?
yeah, I like barely could go to bed because I was so
Oh,
scared of that
that
dream.
like my like hackles rose at that. I don't even have hackles,
Yeah.
but mine rose.
I know. That
Oh
was
my
it was very
god.
scary. It
Oh, I
was
hate that.
always
I
the
hate that.
same. Yeah, same person, same facial expression. And maybe that was not just a dream. I don't know.
Yeah, what do you think?
But
Like what's your like gut on that?
mm, I hope to God it was just a dream. But
That's
I don't
really
know.
fair.
I I also think it's interesting. Sorry, I'm talking so much about myself, but
No, please.
I have either like the most abstract, crazy, no
Mm-hmm.
bearing in reality dream,
Mm-hmm.
or I'm dreaming in my room, which makes my
Oh,
dreams feel so vivid and
yes,
real that it's like hard
totally.
to distinguish between
Oh my
life
God.
and sleep.
Yes.
But anyway, that's enough about my recurring dreams.
No,
I
I want to hear
just
more. I want more of your recurring dreams.
yeah, I'll let you know if I develop any other ones. But
Oh my God.
I this is not a recurring dream, but I had the funniest dream recently
Oh my God, tell
that I
me.
just have to share.
Tell
That
us.
Dave and I were at like an Old West saloon, and he was up a set of stairs, and
Okay.
he wanted to skateboard down the railing.
Of course he did.
And so I said, okay, I'll just watch you. And he did it. But when he landed,
Oh no.
the bottom half of his legs popped off and flew
That's
under
not
a
funny.
refrigerator.
What?
And then I was like, do you want me to put them back on? And he said, no, that's okay.
No? No, that's okay. I'm good.
Yeah. And then he put his shoes on his knees and we walked to the pool.
Just
Oh
so
my god,
nonchalant.
yeah.
He's like a Lego. He's like a Lego person. The legs just
Yeah,
popped off.
yeah. So weird.
My
That,
freaking
yeah.
God, I'm dying.
I, that is, yeah. So there's my psyche. Who knows what's
I
going on?
love that. My recurring dream from childhood, all I can remember is being on this really dark street and looking at like the skyline, but it was like the suburbs in the dream, so it was like houses. And then I realized that it wasn't houses, that it was like monsters.
Oh
And
no.
then I don't remember what happened from there, but it was like kind of long and it
Yeah.
was not nice at all.
Yeah,
So
no. That's
I didn't
scary.
love that. Yeah.
How old were you when those dreams?
It was probably throughout high school, I would
Oh
say.
wow. Hmm.
Like probably middle school, high school age, I guess.
Yeah.
Um
Very.
I was just looking up really quickly. Two dream episodes that we've had before were episode 21, which is so long ago,
Yeah.
which is
Mhm.
a it's like a really mashup episode. So I'm not sure what we thought the theme was here, but you covered glitches in the Matrix,
Mhm.
and then we covered past life experiences, and then we covered lucid dreaming and astral projection. So
Wow.
I don't
Okay.
know
That
where
was
the like consistency was there,
yeah.
but
It's all over
yeah,
the
so there's
place.
episode 21 and then there's episode 61, which is
Mm.
dedicated like entirely to shared dreams. And then we talk a little
Okay.
about lucid dreaming there too. So if you're
Yeah.
interested in going back to the dream episodes, those are them.
Okay. I am. I'm gonna write it down.
Yeah,
Episode
21
20.
and 61.
Perfect.
Okay, proceed.
Okay, great. Let's
I feel
talk
like we're just
about
like chatting today.
I know.
I promise
Yeah.
we will share stories, but this is just so interesting.
I know. And I'm on to the stories now. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll do
Okay,
those. I
great.
don't have too many. These all came from BuzzFeed this time.
Oh.
Um so yeah, departure from Reddit. But
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Traitor.
I
Just
know.
kidding.
I am a traitor. I betrayed. But
How dare
I
you?
figured you probably covered
I
Reddit
covered a
pretty.
lot of Reddit. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So, okay. These are BuzzFeed. This is an anonymous user who wrote, I used to have this dream once every few weeks for years as a kid. I was at a rundown resort at night. The bathroom had small brown square tiles and yellow stall doors. I would always walk through it because it was empty, and then I'd be on a beach with palm trees and no sea. I was looking for people to tell them that there was a tsunami coming, but I never found anyone. And it would end with me getting submerged and waking up gasping for air. The creepiest part, I haven't had this dream since the Boxing Day tsunami back in 2004 when I was a teenager. So that one almost is like a premonition
Yeah.
dream.
You
Like,
also I also love like that level of like imagery, like the brown tiles and the yellow. Like I can see
yeah,
that bathroom.
yeah,
A hundred
same.
percent can see that
Yeah.
bathroom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And a beach with no
Mhm.
ocean, like,
Yeah,
or the ocean way pulled
like it's
back.
coming out.
That's,
Yeah,
yeah, scary.
that is scary.
Yeah. Um, let's see. Then I had another one that I thought was premonition y, but let me try to find it. Okay, this one. This is also an anonymous user. They wrote, I used to have the same dream about once a year from my early 20s up to age 30. I would be driving in the rain, a pickup truck would veer in front of me, and I'd slam on the brakes. I'd wake up right at the point of impact. Though it wasn't exactly the same image as I had dreamed, in real life, I was eventually hit by a wrong way driver in a pickup truck while it was raining. I,
What?
I stopped having that dream after that happened.
Okay, that gave me chills, dude.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh, I don't like that. Like
no.
the car crash ones being recurring is very common. Like I said, that and plane crashes, but
Yeah.
like the details of it being so
Mm-hmm.
accurate.
Yeah,
Ew.
right. And for it to actually happen is
Yeah,
so, yeah, like that's a premonition,
that's really
not
spooky.
just a
That's really, really
dream.
spooky. Yeah,
Yeah,
agreed.
yikes.
Ew.
I know. um, okay, I have just a few more.
Okay.
This is also an anonymous user. I guess nobody wanted to share their
I
names.
guess not.
Um, in my dream, it's late at night, and I'm alone in my childhood house reading a book. Suddenly, I hear a knock at the door. I always get the sense that I should not open the door, so
Mm.
I don't. I even go into the bathroom and lock the door to hide, but the knocks get louder and louder, and suddenly everything goes black, and I feel sharp nails running down my back.
Oh,
That's always where I wake up. I've had this dream since I was 7, and I usually have it at least 3 times a year. So I don't know how old this user is, but if you've had this dream since you were 7,
that's
that's a
no matter what,
long
multiple
time.
years is a lot.
Yeah, very, way
Ew,
too
I
much.
hate that.
Yeah, no.
Feeling things like, have you ever gotten like stabbed in a dream?
Yes.
That is
Yeah.
so freaky because
Yeah.
I feel like your brain like is imagining what it would feel like.
Yep.
Oh, I don't like that
Yeah.
at all. I
Uh-uh.
don't like that at all. Feeling scratches down your back? No.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
No. Yikes.
Pass.
Yeah. I will rather not have that.
Yeah. Left swipe.
Yeah. Exactly. Um okay, here's another one that is actually from a user this time, Carissa B4C4C2D9 2B.
Oh my god. Privacy.
Yeah.
Data
Hmm.
privacy.
Yeah.
PII.
Yep. Exactly. They wrote, for a while, I'd have dreams inside of this big house on an island. The house was beautiful, and every time I'd dream of it, I was in a different room, never the same one. Outside the windows, the sky and ocean were gray with giant tsunami waves. I had many experiences in that house, and I truly believe I lived there in another universe.
Whoa.
So
Yeah.
that one's cool. I
That's
mean, that
another
sounds,
explanation, right?
yeah, that sounds like we would have talked about it in episode 21.
Yeah,
Just a
exactly.
confluence of all
Just
those,
really
yeah,
so much.
parallel universe
Yeah,
dreams.
that's interesting though. Like the
Mm-hmm.
parallel universe thing too.
Yeah, yeah,
I was just talking
colliding.
to my mom just asked like, what do you think deja vu is? And I was like,
Mm.
well, I know that it's like we talked about in that episode. It's like
Yeah.
where there's like a like physiological thing that's happening where like
Mm-hmm.
we plan, and there's like a function of our brain that is like anticipating what's coming next always, even if you're not conscious of it. And
Mm-hmm.
it's when that like lags, like it like you like your brain like forgets to do it, and then
Mm-hmm.
suddenly it like snaps forward into reality to the present
Yeah.
moment, and it like makes you feel really weird.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yes, like there is that physical explanation, scientific explanation. And why is that happening? So I was like, I think that it's like either you're crossing paths with an alternate version of yourself, or um, like you're where that alternate version of yourself was at some point, or vice versa. Like I think it's like one of those weird paths crossing kind of things,
Mm-hmm.
which reminds me of that a little bit.
Yeah.
Like that a dream, it also could be coming, that crossover could be kind of coming to fruition through a dream.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Did we talk about deja vu in that episode too?
I don't know
Episode.
if we did. Let me see if I can find it.
Yeah, because I remember doing that topic, and there's
No,
actually like,
23. So it was very
okay,
shortly after
yeah,
episode
wow,
21. So yeah, episode 23, which
interesting.
also we talked a lot about mirrors.
Oh,
I feel like
yeah.
we used to pick, like now it's like coming back to me. This is literally 4 years ago, you guys.
Yeah.
Which is,
Was
I
it
guess,
really?
3 years ago. Three,
Okay.
yeah. Isn't that
Yeah, wow.
crazy?
That is
Yeah, it would
crazy.
have to be three because I've only lived here for three and we started after I
Yeah.
moved. But
Yeah.
we used to have come with completely different topics. And now
Yeah.
we both like pick the same topic and then pick different for like parts of
Yeah.
it.
Um,
But it's like funny to look back in our notes because I'm like, oh my God.
it's just random, whatever we felt
Literally. We
like.
also have 208 pages of Google Doc notes, and that's not including your notes usually
Right.
because you take notes
Yeah.
separately. So it's
Yeah.
like we got a lot of notes.
Yeah. That's a lot of content that we've
Yeah.
put out there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hope you
Amazing.
enjoy it.
Yeah. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Yep. Okay, I have one more that had to
Yes.
include a ghost. So,
Oh, yes, of course. Spooky.
my aunt and her ex-husband used to own a property that was formerly a hospital for sick children that they
Mm.
tried to convert into a retirement living center / event place. When they were renovating, my family used to go hang out there, as there was a gym and a pool for all the kids to play in. Every night after visiting this place, I had the same recurring dream that we had to leave the property by midnight or else a ghost was coming for us.
Oh.
Yeah. Usually in these dreams, I was successfully off the property by midnight, but every so often I'd have versions where I was stuck in the property and just hiding in various locations in the building. I always woke up terrified.
Ooh.
And
That's
yeah,
creepy.
I found that one so interesting because it happened only after they went to this certain place.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw a few other stories like that.
Yes,
Like
me
somebody was
too.
like, this only happened when I sleep by a window.
Yeah.
Or if I
Or
sleep.
at my house. Or
Yeah,
at so-and-so's
exactly.
house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So interesting.
I had one that I didn't include because it was a little, I don't know, it felt like the content of the dream didn't like wasn't in enough detail. It was really short, but at the
Yeah.
end it was like, and it only happened in my grandmother's house. I hope that place burns to the ground. I was like, oh my God. So I guess
Wow.
I wish they had given more detail because I was like, this
Yeah.
sounds like it was really fucking scary.
Right. Yeah, it
At least I
does.
think that's the one I'm talking about. Maybe I did include it. Well, we're gonna find out.
We'll find out. Yeah, you're
Find out.
up. Let's
Okay,
do
I'm
it.
up. So, of course, I went a little creepier for the most
Uh-huh.
part. Okay, so this first one is from a deleted user, and the little like little tag is mutual dream. So, or like recurring mutual dream. Myself and 4 other people in my life, completely unrelated to each other, have described dreams recurring with the same themes. And some of them are nice: peaceful and beautiful surroundings, bright, vivid colors. A park like setting at the beginning of the dream, specifically with a basketball court, which I think is so interesting.
Yeah.
A long hallway or bridge, and seeing or hearing someone approaching or calling to them from the other end of the bridge that brings them an almost foreboding sense of unease as they approach. They said apparently the majority of these dreams that they've heard other people share as well is this quote unquote, they call it an entity, which I think is an interesting word choice, of
Mhm.
an old woman saying that she is sick and asking for their help, but they have like a really bad feeling
Bad.
about it,
Ooh,
which is
scary.
very creepy. Those I feel
Mhm.
like are almost the scariest because like a lot of my like night terrors, which have been recurring before, it's like I'm the victim of some sort of like very violent crime. So
Mhm.
it's like, I mean, they're horrible and they like get
Yeah.
murdered and like
Right.
whatever,
Yeah.
which are really scary. But then when you wake up, you're like, okay, I'm good. Like
It
that's not
was, yeah.
happening. It was a dream.
Mhm.
But these, where it's like really ominous and you have that like kind of stomach ache because you're like,
Yeah.
ooh, something's not right. Like that sense of
Mhm.
dread of something that, like, to something that should not give you that
Right.
sensation. Like that is
Yeah.
really spooky to me.
Yeah. Very.
Um,
Mm.
um, so after seeing this woman. So this is so they're like peaceful, bright surroundings, vivid colors, a park with a basketball court, and then they're like, buckle up, baby. It's
Yeah.
like so this
Get ready.
this bridge. I just choked. I got so excited. This long hallway or bridge, seeing someone on the other end and either calling to them or they're approaching you. Most of the time it's this old woman who's like sick and asking for help, and you have this like really bad feeling. Once you've encountered this quote unquote entity,
Mhm.
only being able to see these glaring red or pitch black eyes,
Oh.
accompanied by the sound of screaming and an
Mm.
intense feeling of dread, suffocation, and torment until you're able to wake.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yikes.
So they're not saying, oh, I woke up and I couldn't move and I saw something in my room. Like they wake
Yeah.
up and they're awake. It's a normal, real dream or nightmare in this
Yeah.
case.
Mhm.
Um, the people who all encountered this entity as specifically an old woman also described being around a strange object in their waking life around the time that they had the dream. For example, an antique porcelain doll, a 100-year-old Wiccan book, antique pilgrim children's clothing hanging on the walls as decoration in an Airbnb. Like,
Whoa.
this is like what these individuals have been around. So they were like, why is that triggering this dream?
Hmm.
Which is so weird.
Very.
In one of my dreams and another, I heard that were just alike. We were visited by a deceased relative with a message at the end of this long hallway. But as they started to speak, the dread set in and their eyes changed to a deep red, and the feelings of suffocation and torment immediately followed. So the writer and one of these other like five people, there are four others other than themselves they spoke to. They
Mhm.
were the ones who didn't see the old woman, but they saw a relative. So like it's like always, and the entity seems to take on someone who you should be able to trust or who you
Yeah.
wouldn't suspect as being malicious, and then it like
Mhm.
slowly morphs into something
Mm.
like scary.
That
um
sounds like a demon to me.
Totally. And then they say, I mean, I just said this, but they said it seems like it was something disguised as a loved one who had
Mm.
passed to trick me into interacting with it because I missed them.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I'm mostly a
Very.
skeptic, but intuitively feel a very distinct difference between this dream and regular nightmares in my own personal experience. Having heard this very weirdly similar dream from a very disconnected net of people I've known throughout my life, I'm curious, excuse me, if anyone else has had anything along these lines or knows any folklore surrounding these dreams.
Hmm.
Um, so, a lot of people, a couple of people commented and said, I have had a dream about a relative at the end of a hallway who had just died, acting
Whoa.
normal, speaking to me, like, oh, it's so good to see you. And then their eyes turned black. So, like, more
Ew.
people have experienced this, and it seems to be like
Yeah.
kind of a common thing.
Mhm.
Um, One person in the comment like explains shared or mutual dreams, and it's just like, yeah, like it just happens, and it's a
Yeah.
phenomenon that we don't really understand why or like what the common thread is. But
Mhm.
I thought that was just really
Yeah.
freaky.
That is so scary.
Yes. Um, okay, so this is from No Idea 457. And they say, I had a dream today that I swear I've had before many times. I believe it was a recurring nightmare from my childhood. In it, I keep getting chased by different kinds of monsters, each with their own quote unquote rules to follow. I
Mm.
vividly remember one of them, a huge circular head with blacked out eyes, with an unnaturally creepy smile and black tentacles instead of a body. Its only rule is that it can't see. So it's like they operate in these within these weird parameters, kind of.
Mhm.
For example, I could stand right in front of it and it wouldn't notice me if I didn't make a sound. In the dream, I was standing in the shadows in a room of a seemingly never ending house, covering my mouth as to not make a sound. It was running around while laughing maniacally. I'm pretty sure my mother was in the dream, though she was already caught by a different entity that was in the house, one I can't fully
Oh no.
remember now. Escaping from the room, I found a door that seemed to be radiating with light. Outside, I had said to myself, like, okay, I can go outside. And I started walking quickly toward the door. I go through it to find an old, battered car parked against a brick wall. I could see the sun shining overhead, so I thought that I had escaped. Opening the trunk of the car, I found a shotgun in it. Celebrating my victory with a smile, I chuckled to myself while holding the gun as though it was a trophy before the entire image collapsed and I was back in that massive room. And then they say in parentheses, did I mention it's a windowless, endless room with rotting wood floorboards and the ceiling is an infinite distance away?
Wow.
An eerie shadow casts over my body, and my expression turns into one I can only describe as absolute terror and dread, my eyes lifeless as I turn around, knowing I was about to meet my end. And yes, they say, yes, I saw this all in third person. So they're watching themselves like it's a movie,
Move through.
and the
Oh,
entity is
weird.
staring right at me, the tentacle one that
Hmm.
can't see. So,
Wow.
um, the image fades to black and credits roll. I'm awake. It's 3 a.m. and I finally fall back asleep. The strangest part about this is that I remember having a dream almost exactly in this setting, the same room, the same plot, but with a different monster. I'm pretty sure I was last there in the dream with my dad. I died in almost the same way too, with the car being there in all my dreams, thinking I've escaped, and then that crumples and I return to where I was before. I have a feeling that the dream is sort of a movie, and maybe it's something I've seen in real life. I remember seeing something like this as a child, and now I'm not sure if I'm remembering it, if it's real or it's not. I just had this dream so much as a child.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there aren't a ton of comments on this one, like replying to it, but people are just saying, like, there's clearly something that's happening in your life that your dream is trying to tell you. I
Yeah.
just hate the how much detail there is because clearly they've had it a lot if they remember all
Yeah.
of these details.
Yeah. That's so vivid.
Yeah, so
Wow.
vivid.
Mhm.
Okay, just have a few more. This is from Chance Boyo. I want to preface this by saying that I have never been a huge believer in the paranormal and never put much stock into dreams. However, after reading through countless stories of inexplicable and downright strange events on this paranormal subreddit, I
Mhm.
figured I would share my own story. At the time, I lived in a small mobile home with my parents and younger sister. I shared a room with my sister and even a bunk bed with her at one point. This specific recurrence of the dream takes place in early to late 2009, and it always happens the same. I would wake up, or so I thought, in my bed and climb down the ladder to get a drink of water, except the door to the bedroom would always be locked from the outside. This was
Hmm.
strange because the doors to the bedroom could not lock at all, let alone from the outside.
Yeah.
It
Ooh.
was always pitch black in my dreams. Think like can't even see your own hand 5 inches from your face kind of dark, which is also strange because my sister is terrified of the dark. So we always had a nightlight on near her bed that lit up most of the floor surrounding it and even enough light to see the door. Anyway, tangent aside, the point is the room was very dark. After trying the door, I would hear a voice behind me every single time. It's locked. You're not
Oh,
getting out that way.
oh
Followed
God.
by a string of numbers
Whoa.
that too many years have passed for me to remember now, but they were always the same numbers as far as I recall.
Ooh.
Aside from the strange nature of having them recur over a period of roughly 5 months, an additional weird aspect is that I would consistently wake up at the opposite end of the bed with my shirt inside out.
Interesting.
Yeah. Now, I will be the first to
Scary.
say that I am not a chill sleeper. I roll around and wake up in different positions to this day, but I have never, ever woken up with my shirt inside out unless I'm having this dream.
Wow.
Yeah.
What?
I never
That's
could really
bizarre.
is so weird. I never could figure out why I'm having these dreams or nightmares really. I don't remember much from that time period, but for some reason it's always really stuck with me. The only
Yeah.
thing I will say that sticks out to me regarding the incident is that I still feel weird being alone in that home. We
Mm.
moved well over a decade ago and I have long since outgrown my fear of the dark, but I cannot stand being alone in that house at night. I have stories about that from more recently, but those are for another time.
Mm.
This one I
Wow.
included because it reminded me of my weird sleep thing where I would
Yeah.
wake up, I would turn my laptop off, like power it off at night.
Hmm.
I would wake up to my laptop open and like very bright, usually around 3 a.m.
Hmm.
Music would be playing quietly. So I wasn't like waking the house. I would have like quiet music playing
Yeah.
and my hair would be braided.
Yeah. That's
Huh?
so weird.
It's so weird. And it's not like, oh, you got high and braided it before bed and you forgot. Like, no, I
Right.
was like 15. I was
Yeah.
not smoking weed at
Yeah.
the time.
No.
So there was like not a lot of explanation. The Inside Out t shirt really reminded me of that, of like,
Yeah.
ugh. It's just
Some,
creepy because it's like I knew there wasn't someone in my room with me, but it also was like, I,
like,
I
why
don't
is that
know. Yeah,
happening?
how am I
Yeah.
doing this like very well?
Right.
Middle of the night when
Yeah.
I'm asleep. Yeah,
Yeah.
very weird.
So strange.
Yeah,
Oh
very
man.
strange.
I wish they could remember the numbers in
I
that
know.
dream.
It'd
Because
be
what
so
if it
interesting.
was,
A phone number or something.
yeah, or like a date
Yeah.
or,
Oh, I didn't think the date. That's
yeah,
scary,
that,
Amy.
like, what if that's
Oh.
the day they're gonna die or
Oh my
something
God,
that's so
dark.
morbid?
Or the day
But
that they like meet the love of their
I
life. Come
hope
on,
that's it.
Amy.
Except that dream is too creepy
I know
for
it is
that.
really creepy. It's
I
really
don't think
creepy.
that's like you're never getting out or whatever it
Yeah.
was.
You're not
That's,
getting out this
yeah,
way.
it's locked.
It's locked. Very creepy.
Yeah.
Okay, this is from another deleted user. This is my last of two more, so second to
Okay.
last.
Perfect.
Um, Whenever I'm inside my house, I have weird recurring dreams about satanic stuff. Is the title.
Mm, great.
These dreams began immediately after I came home from abroad a few days ago and happen
Mm,
only when I'm inside the house, as I slept in my aunt's house last night and didn't have any dreams like this. The
mm,
dreams follow basically the same scenario. For some reason, the whole house is in disarray, and the housekeepers are organizing everything until they reach this drawer, which for some reason is out of the dresser and put on a table. The whole thing is carved in what they call satanic symbols, which makes them scared. So, like the housekeepers are saying, like, "Oh, it's carved in
yeah.
satanic symbols,
Scary.
whatever," makes them scared, and so they start hiding under the table, refusing to do anything with it. Wouldn't touch it. Wouldn't do anything. After a while, I get frustrated and decide that I'll pack it myself. Now, the contents of the drawer vary in each dream, but they follow kind of the same formula. There are old black and white pictures of my great grandmother sometimes with her four sisters and father. I intuitively somehow know it's them, and it is, in fact, actually them. I checked photos. So, like,
Whoa.
they hadn't seen photos of them.
Hmm.
Books related to black magic, esotericism, and the dead. And lastly, a nylon bag filled with human teeth.
Whoa.
The dreams are also somewhat lucid, as I can read from the books and remember what I read.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
The second time I experienced the dream, I read a book about mummification and how some Korean kings used ritualistic conditioning to slow down the rotting process. I always
Mm.
wake up when I'm done packing the drawer, and whenever I do, I feel an inexplicable sense of dread and paranoia, even though when I was sleeping, I wasn't actually distressed in the dream. It's only upon waking that they feel not good. The whole house also feels really frightening, and I just can't stand being in it. It feels much darker than it ever did before, and even though the sun is directly shining from the windows, the rooms stay dim at best. I'm also sure it's not entirely me because both my brother and the housekeepers in real life say that it is unusually dark, but they don't express a similar kind of fear. I tried smoking pot to relax, but this just made it 10 times worse, and I'm actually beginning to experience auditory hallucinations.
Oh no.
Yeah, hate that.
Yeah.
I've lived here for almost 10 years and I've never felt like this. Is this some sort of paranormal activity or am I just freaking out? So, A user in the comments, Randall Flag Lives, says, I think the clergy would call this oppression. It's the step
Mm,
before full on possession, as far as I understand. I don't mean to
yikes.
intrude your privacy, but did you travel anywhere that has a dark history, maybe something attached and followed you home? If you believe
Mm,
that type of thing, of course. I personally think things can just get strange, and those dreams in particular are very unsettling. I was once sleeping in a dorm, and the next dorm room over, they were playing with a Ouija board. I didn't know
mm,
they were playing with it, and as I slept, I had one of the worst nightmares I've ever had, and it involved my grandmother and her house and her cat. My
oh,
grandmother was long dead, and this thing was impersonating her. And when it turned
no.
around and I could see what I thought was my grandma, it was this goblin demonic thing all dressed up in my grandmother's clothes. When I saw that thing, I was sitting on her couch and I had her cat on my lap petting it, but when I looked down, I was petting a giant rat. Yeah.
Ugh,
I woke up in the coldest sweat and then heard yells from the other room. So went over to investigate and realized they were playing with a Ouija board and something scary had happened. All
mm.
this to say, these things can influence you in your dreams. They know your secrets and your family somehow. So,
That,
how weird is
oh,
that?
yeah.
Being able to remember what you read in the dream. I
Hmm.
wonder if that thing about Korean kings, I'm looking
Oh,
this up,
yeah. That,
decomposition.
hmm.
Let's
Sounds
see.
like their family is like into the occult or something. Like
Yeah,
that.
I mean, but it didn't seem like in real life they were, though.
Yeah.
Unless there's some
No.
family secret that this
Secret.
person doesn't know about. I mean,
Right.
I
Yeah.
don't know. Let's see. Uh, oh, yeah, I don't see anything come up about that being real. I mean, maybe it is historically, but
Mm.
nothing comes up immediately.
Yeah.
Um,
Wow. That's so
okay, and
interesting.
other thing that was posted 4 months ago, so like not long ago, and they had
Yeah.
written it like right as they had started having this, and their
Hmm.
profile is now deleted, which I don't love.
Uh-oh. No.
Yeah,
I don't
and it
like that
like
either.
really creeped me out when I
Yeah.
realized.
Yeah, that is creepy.
Yeah, very creepy. Okay,
Hopefully
this is
it
my
went
last
away.
one. Yeah, I hope so. Jesus.
Yeah.
This was posted 1 month ago, and this is from Amber the Green Wiccan.
Ooh.
It is titled Recurring Childhood Dream of Hat Man.
No.
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 I know. Okay. I used to have a recurring dream of a Hat Man type as a child around ages 7 to 8. I'm 27 now, for reference. In the dream, my mom would be would be throwing a small get together or party at the house, or sometimes would be having work people over, and I would hear someone ring the doorbell. Expecting
Mhm.
it to be one of my mom's friends, I'd open it and see a tall man in a trench coat or pea coat, sometimes a tie, but always a top hat with a shadowed face. I never
Mm.
really saw any features of his face in my dream. He would reach out a hand to grab me, and I'd slam the door shut and run to my mom. I'd tell her someone bad is at the door, and usually would get a response of, I'm busy, I can't go check right now. Which I think
Mm.
like a lot of kids have that in the dream,
Yeah.
where it's like, I can't be bothered with that, and
Yeah.
it's something real.
Hmm.
And I'd
Oof.
begin to panic. I hate this part. I hate this part. I hate this part because you can totally imagine in a dream how real this would feel and how spooky it would be. Out
Yeah.
of the corner of my eye, I'd see my cat suddenly get whisked out the front door, like a
No.
hand grab him.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate it.
Oh,
Sometimes it would even be with a long fishing pole. And I've always chalked
ew.
that up to my
Yeah.
childhood imagination. I'd scream for my mom, but before she could come, I would be whisked away out the front door too. The man would
Mm.
envelop me into his cloak or trench coat, and I'd wake up screaming and crying and run to my mom's room.
Oh
I've
God.
had this dream on a weekly basis for years. So it like
Wow.
started when they were 7 or 8 and
Mm-hmm.
continued for 20
To
years.
27. Yeah.
It's
Whoa.
crazy. It's
That's
always the
too long.
same sequence of events, and eventually I wake up.
Hmm.
Um, as a teenager, around 16 years old, I was driving with a friend at night back to my house. This is a different house than where I used to have that recurring dream, mind you. We both saw a man suddenly lit up by my headlights who came out of nowhere, wearing what looked to be an old timey suit and a top hat with a cane. Keep in mind, this is around 2014, and no one would be wearing that where I live. We both looked at each other in shock and fear. I've always felt like I could see spirits, but my friend is 100% not a believer in ghosts or anything of the sort, and she was still super freaked out. We never
Wow.
saw the guy again. I always see posts about sleep paralysis or allergy meds or whatever else affecting people when they see a similar guy with a top hat, but my encounters have always been either in a dream or in real life 100% sober under no effects of medication.
Hmm.
Curious if this encounter matches up with anyone else's. And I just realized that I'm not the only one who saw this guy by talking about childhood dreams with a friend. So, like, I mean, we all know how prevalent the Hat Man is,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Wow.
that
Weird.
one really creeped. The cat getting pulled out
Mm-hmm.
really freaked me out.
Yeah. Especially as a 7 or 8-year-old, watching
Yes.
that happen to your pet would
Yes.
be scarring.
So scarring.
Mm.
I know.
Yeah, that is so
Mm-mm.
scary.
I don't like that at all. I don't like
I
that.
bet there were a lot of comments on that one
There
about
were a few, but
Hat
it was
Man.
more people commenting, yeah, about Hatman. About like
Yeah.
it's so weird, like how he
Yeah.
appears
To
everywhere,
so
even
many
like
people. Yeah.
dating back to before the internet, when that would
Mm-hmm.
be an
Yeah.
understandable way for him to the idea of him to kind of like
Yeah.
propagate.
Proliferate. Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. Wow.
Anyway, so recurring dreams. Tell
Scary.
us about yours.
Yeah. I want to hear,
I know.
especially
It's
your
so
dreams.
interesting.
I want to know.
So interesting. I love
Yeah.
it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, okay, guys. Well, stay safe. I don't know. Is it a full moon
Yes.
on Friday the 13th?
Oh
Let's
gosh, that
look.
would be really
I think
something.
it might be actually.
Oops.
Hold on. Okay, no, it's not. It's a waxing gibbous, everyone.
Oh. Waxing
Um,
gibbous.
there. I feel like there is a whole full moon. Is maybe wait. Is Halloween on a full moon?
Oh God, I hope so.
That'd be so lit.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't see. No, it doesn't look like it. It looks like
Okay.
it's gonna be full before that. But anyway, stay safe, you guys. Don't people
Yeah.
act crazy on Friday the 13th.
Mm-hmm.
So stay safe, watch Jason
Spooky
murder
movie.
some people, and
Yeah.
follow us on
Mm-hmm.
Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok at Girls Gone Spooky. Like I said, please DM us or email us your freaky dreams at
Yeah.
girlsgonespooky@gmail.com. Please rate and
Mm-hmm.
review the podcast. Also love a word of mouth moment. We want more people to listen and enjoy with us. And yeah, we'll be back next week. And until then,
Mm-hmm.
stay
Stay spooky.
spooky.
Bye.
Bye.